देखिए, मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं बहुत सालों के बाद, पता नहीं 10-20 साल के बाद, मैं और नसीर एक जगह साथ में खड़े हैं। और हम अगर साथ उसकी कई वजह है, और हमारे साथ खड़े होने की वजह ये है कि जो मिस्टर नायर थे, उन्होंने हम दोनों की ज़िंदगी और हमारे जैसे कई लोगों की ज़िंदगी बदल दी। और उन्होंने सिर्फ फिल्म को प्रिजर्व नहीं किया, जो उन्होंने किया नेशनल फिल्म आर्काइव में, उन्होंने हम जैसे गधों को सिनेमा भी सिखाया। उन्होंने हमको पढ़ाया कि सिनेमा क्या है। और हम समझते हैं कि इस देश में ऐसे आदमी को जितनी उसकी रिकग्निशन होनी चाहिए थी वो अभी तक नहीं हुई है। आपके मीडिया के माध्यम से अगर जो मंत्री लोग इस बात को हमारी सुन रहे हैं और अगर हमारी थोड़ी इज्जत करते हैं, तो नायर साहब को सबसे बड़े से बड़ा अवार्ड दिया जाना चाहिए ताकि रिकग्निशन हो। इसलिए नहीं सिर्फ कि नायर साहब पद्म भूषण या विभूषण हो गए, क्योंकि उसको देख के फिर और लोग भी वो काम करेंगे जो नायर साहब ने किया। तो उनकी जो प्रतिभा थी वो और फैलेगी, ऐसा हम समझते हैं।
मेरे ख्याल से नायर साहब से बड़ा सिनेमा का आशिक दुनिया में हो नहीं सकता।
सर, विनोद खन्ना जी,
प्लीज डोंट आस्क अनकनेक्टेड क्वेश्चन।
सर, your views, your take on that.
Can we please go to this
हाँ जी,
preserve करने के लिए your contribution is a lot. Like, what are
जी।
you going to do exactly to आगे और लेके जाने के लिए?
देखिए, हमारे देश की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये है, मैं आपको बताऊं, और ये नसीर को शायद पता नहीं है, जो हमने पहली फिल्म नसीर के साथ बनाई थी सत्य कथा, और उसमें नसीर ने एब्सोल्युटली कमाल का काम किया था। एक पुलिस वाले का रोल किया था। यू रिमेंबर दैट होल फिल्म? ये थे और ओमपुरी थे। वो फिल्म कभी कहीं है ही नहीं। वो हमने टेलीविज़न के लिए शूट की थी। 10 साल पहले मैं दूरदर्शन गया, उसका नाम नेगेटिव है ना वो फिल्म है। अब वो हिस्टोरिकल फिल्म है, वो पहली फिल्म है जो नसीर और मैंने और ओमपुरी ने साथ में बनाई थी, और बहुत खूबसूरत फिल्म थी। तो बहुत दिल हमारा ऐसा है कि जलता है कि हमारा काम, सबका काम खत्म हो गया।
कि मतलब आप 100 साल पहले की फिल्में की तो बात
भूल ही जाइए, हमारी जिंदगी की बात कर।
हमारी ऐसी कई फिल्में हैं जिनके नेगेटिव गायब हो गए हैं, जिनका कहीं कोई प्रिंट नहीं मिलता। बहुत अच्छी अच्छी फिल्में, तो बहुत अफसोस होता है इस बात का, क्योंकि
शुक्ला जी, आप शिवेंद्र के इनिशिएटिव के बारे में प्रिंट्स है, उसको थोड़ा रिवाइव करने के लिए या उसको
यही तो काम, यही
इसी के लिए तो हम यहाँ खड़े हैं इनके पास,
और शिवेंद्र सिंह विल टेल यू अबाउट दैट।
इन्हीं के लिए हम इनके साथ क्यों खड़े हैं। अगर आप पुस्तक पढ़ें, और नसीर साहब ने पढ़ी, उसमें हमारा नाम है कि हमने कुछ किया। क्यों किया? क्योंकि इसलिए किया क्योंकि ये काम होना चाहिए। बहुत कम लोग हैं इन जैसे वो कर रहे हैं, और ये होना ही चाहिए। ये
जो लोग कर रहे हैं उनको प्रोत्साहन देना हमारा काम है।
शिवेंद्र जी, आप बताइए, आपने फिल्म बनाया है सेलुलोइड मैन, और आपने अभी ये बुक भी इनिशिएटिव लिया है, उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे?
नहीं, ये किताब जो है मेरे ख्याल से आप लोग को सब मालूम हो जाएगा, अभी फंक्शन शुरू होने के टाइम में है। आई थिंक उसके बारे में मालूम हो जाएगा। लेकिन ये किताब बड़े प्यार से, मोहब्बत से किया हम लोग ने, क्योंकि ये नायर साहब को जो व्यूज़ है, हम चाहते हैं कि बाकी लोगों को प्रोत्साहित करें और एक इंस्पिरेशन के तौर पे बाकी एक पूरा फिल्म प्रेजर्वेशन का कल्चर जागृत हो। तो इस रीज़न से हमने, देखिए, NFI के बावजूद होने के बावजूद भी हम एक फिल्म हेरिटेज फाउंडेशन, एक दूसरा आर्काइव है, एंड वी हैव ऑलरेडी बिल्ड quite a bit of it, and our big plan is to build an institution which will be a privately, more like an NGO, which will be another archive, because in India it's not possible with so many film industries to have just one institution to look after that, and that's the beauty of India. I mean, because you're such diverse kind of a nation, so we are in the verge of building, and we've got lot of support, and we want more support of the industry. Of course, I mean, the idea is the Nair Sahab was the embodiment of that, and that's why this book is being launched. I mean, because more people will get inspired and hopefully will support us more intentionally.
सर, आपके
I think we're getting late for the function.
विनोद खन्ना जी के बारे में जानना चाहेंगे। सर, तबीयत काफी खराब है, सर, उसके लिए कोई विशेष
I would request Shri Shyam Benegal to say a few words.
Good evening. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Shivendra, of course, has been with his Film Heritage Foundation doing exceptional work. But before that, I think, I always used to think of two people as being quite extraordinary in terms of cinema. One was Henri Langlois, who created the Cinémathèque in France. And he was quite an extraordinary figure because I think he collected more films than anybody else. And so the entire kind of world cinema he put together, particularly between the two wars, the First and Second World War. And of course, lost about 3/4 of those films to the Nazi occupiers in France, and started working on it after the Second World War until he died. And today, Cinémathèque Française continues to be an extraordinary archive of cinema. And like him, Nair, P.K. Nair, did exactly the same in India. Because, I cannot believe that here is P.K. Nair, who collected over 10,000 films singly, entirely by himself, and created a record of the entire history of Indian cinema. Now, this is, extraordinary work when you think of it, because when you think of films, individual films, films actually are an extraordinary record, frozen in time of a particular time in our history, and it tells you everything much more than a book would tell you or a photograph would tell you, because here you see everything as living images in time. And this particular kind of recording of our history is something that is unbelievable, and we in the 21st century enjoy this. And we enjoy this largely because, particularly, if you think in terms of India, it's because of a person like Nair, P.K. Nair. If you really want to experience what early 20th century was like, you simply have to go to the National Film Archives in Pune and look at a film of that time, and you're immediately transported to that particular time and place. This is something that this man did, which was so extraordinary, and singly, because I know that how difficult it was for him to put together this collection with hardly any help. And he would travel around in places like in Bombay, he would go to the Chor Bazaar and various other places to find little bits of film from people who would otherwise make them into bangles, the celluloid. This kind of work he put together, and this whole jigsaw puzzle, from which he would put together films. Now, he did all of this, and it's because of his work that we can start to see fragments of Dadasaheb Phalke's film, and all the way up to now. Because, the work he did was just extraordinary, because I know that, when I was, my own films, which were lying in my office, because that was the only place I could keep them for a long time. And when I told Nair once, I said, look, I've got to have somebody who keeps these films. Will you be taking them? He said, I have one of each one of your films. So I said, but then what am I going to do with the ones that I have? He said, you send it to me. So I sent it all to him, and then it's there in Pune with him, and I've never, when it came to film, nothing was too much. He would accept anything that you offered to him. And I think the very few people like him. Of course, I can count them on my fingers, 2 fingers. Henri Langlois, P.K. Nair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shyam Babu. Can I request Vinod no, sir will speak later, but first you. Yeah. नहीं, पहले आप. हाँ. To speak a few lines.
Okay.
You want to read? Yeah, okay. So, sir, you read. I don't need to read.
All right. Since Vinod decides to save up his knockout punch for the end, I will... Okay, I'm going to read you a few passages from Nair Saab's book. This is a chapter called Film Preservation in India, and it is a chapter I personally found extremely moving, in which Nair Saab talks about the travails of trying to track down forgotten movies, trying to trace film producers whom no one has heard of, no one hears about anymore, and the job of restoring these movies. It's widely known that the first Indian story film, Raja Harishchandra, was made in 1913 by Dada Saheb Phalke. What is not widely known is that the film perished a few years after it was made. The only surviving print of the film caught fire while it was being transported in a bullock cart from one tent cinema to the other. The actual cause of the accident was not known, but it was reported that the nitrate print had already had a large number of screenings and was practically worn out, and that the accident may have happened while loading or unloading. In 1917, when Phalke found out that the original negatives had also vanished, he reshot the film, duplicating the original shot by shot, taking the opportunity to insert title cards, asserting his claim to be the father of the Indian film industry. Like Phalke's films, many of the most important films in our history have not survived. Many have either turned to powder or have been lost in fires, through accidents or negligence. Many others were lost when silver was extracted from the nitrate films, or when cellulose film was stripped and used to prepare bangles, ladies' handbags, and other curios. To think that Alam Aram must be being worn around some lady's bangle today. Cottage industries that thrived parasitically off the filmmaking scene. According to informed sources, nearly 70% of the titles produced before 1950 have either deteriorated beyond repair or may be considered permanently lost. There are many reasons why we are in such a situation today. Barring a few pioneering exceptions, most of the early films were made by businessmen whose primary concern was making profits. Their interest in a film lasted only as long as it earned them money. Thereafter, they did not care about the whereabouts of the negatives or positive prints. Even if they did care, few had the facilities or the technical know-how to take care of highly inflammable nitrate films. As a result, many film negatives were simply allowed to perish. Filmmakers and authorities alike were not conscious of the historical or cultural importance of cinema. Film is highly fragile material which needs special care and attention for a longer life. However, under the British colonial regime, there were no organizations entrusted with the responsibility of treating cinema as a cultural product and ensuring its preservation for posterity. In the national consciousness, cinema always had a low level of priority. The taboos attached to the profession ensured that few people considered wasting their time in preserving films. A lack of awareness and understanding thus led to the wanton destruction of the country's film heritage. One such film happened to be Alam Ara, the first Indian talkie which is still not traceable. When we contacted him 2 years before his death, Ardeshir M. Irani, the maker of the film, and the man who brought sound to Indian cinema, told us that he had kept some reels of the film in his office room at Imperial Studio, now Jyoti Studio. But his son Shapurji took us aside and confided, "The old man still thinks the reels are lying around in his office, but I know for certain they have been disposed of as junk. I myself did it as they were creating a fire hazard." What a pity. The man had no idea that he had allowed one of the most important historical records of Indian cinema to be destroyed. As a footnote, I want to mention that when I was in Nasik recently, this is in 2012, for the shooting of Celluloid Man, I discovered that the Phalke house no longer existed. A commercial complex had come up in its place. Searching for the prints of other silent films made in India was an even more Herculean task. It was a great adventure to visit the remote corners of the country to hunt for films. They were quite literally scattered around, turning up in such odd places as cowsheds and godowns belonging to owners of grocery shops. A few reels of Indian silent films were also found in foreign locations. Somehow, we managed to locate about 10 of the 1,500 silent feature films made in this country between 1913 and 1932. Most of Phalke's family members and heirs we met in our search were happy to collaborate with us. Often they helped us collect films and supplied information we needed. Yet there were bitter encounters as well. Sometimes doors were shut in our faces and we were told to get lost. Don't even utter the word film in this house. Our father lost all the family property in making films and we have yet to recover from the loss. Then there was the time a grocery shop owner told us, "Yes, I have a wooden box containing some old films lying in my attic. By the way, how much can you pay?" We asked to look at the box, but he would not show it, despite repeated requests. "First tell me how much you are offering, then I'll show you." I told him I needed to have a look at the material to find out whether the reels were intact or had deteriorated and turned to powder. When he refused to relent, his son took me aside to a corner and confided, "It's difficult to argue with the old man. Wait for some time. I'll see to it that the box comes to the film archive." A couple of years later, after the death of the old man, the box was deposited at the archive. Unfortunately, by that time, most of the reels had been damaged and we could salvage only a couple of films. Muraliwala and Sati Savitri, both produced in 1927 by the Maharashtra Film Company, directed by Babu Rao Painter. Then there is another chapter which I consider very significant, which is called The Neglected Projectionist. And this illustrates Nair Saab's attitude to cinema and explains his lifelong obsession, passion, unending romance with the medium. Going to the cinema is entertainment for many, but for me it was different. Of course, the entertainment element was there to a limited extent, but it was just incidental. After the initial thrill of the flickering images and accompanying sounds, I settled down to something serious. It may seem rather strange, but cinema going to me was more of an obsession, like going to the temple. And watching films on the big screen in a darkened hall was a spiritual experience. It hardly mattered whether the film was a mythological, historical, social, comedy, or thriller. Being a dedicated archivist, I hold the view that every film, good, bad, or indifferent, even Vinod Chopra's films, has its place in cinema history. As for value judgments, I would rather leave them to posterity. Puritans and critics of cinema may not appreciate my stand. Associating cinema halls with places of worship may sound outrageous to some, but I feel differently. This may be why I took the decision to ask viewers entering the National Film Archive in Pune to leave their shoes and chappals outside. Naturally, one expects the same kind of reverence from one's fellow viewers. Pioneer showman J.F. Madan set the ball rolling by setting up the first chain of movie theatres in this country. By the mid-1920s, his company Madan Theatres owned about 170 cinemas all over the country and accounted for nearly half the national box office collections. He named his cinemas movie palaces. Palaces are normally the abodes of royalty, the exclusive domain of the privileged few, the lucky ones. But movie palaces are meant for the common man, to take time off from the drudgeries of daily life and escape into a world of fantasy, glamour, and make-believe. Naturally, the menu on the screen has to be in tune with the atmosphere where it is served. So what is being shown and where it is shown complement each other. This historical tradition is a strong point in show business. The illuminated hoardings and banners in front of the theatre, the huge entrance, the rows of marble steps, the sliding glass doors, the red-carpeted winding staircases leading to the spacious and chandeliered foyer. the air-conditioned auditorium with rows of pushback cushioned seats, every seat a cool retreat, as the management would proudly claim. The decorative murals on the acoustically treated walls, the outsized wall-to-wall CinemaScope screen protected by an eye-catching velvet curtain, and last but not least, the spotlessly clean and scented toilets. He obviously didn't visit Gaiety and Galaxy. These are the hallmarks of the traditional movie palace. However, barring a few exceptions, a majority of these theatres pay scant attention to the most vital aspect, namely the quality of projection in terms of image and sound reproduction, and the size of the projected image vis-a-vis the auditorium. This, of course, is now outdated, but it's important to read what he wrote at that time, because I myself have experienced this, watching movies in theatres which were shot in widescreen and projected in the normal format, and at times you could actually see the microphone dangling on top. I even saw the tracks in one film, and of course the lights were visible in many. Since the introduction of CinemaScope, every film is projected in widescreen format, irrespective of the original aspect ratio of the picture, with the result that the audience only sees half the frame, with the top and bottom mercilessly slashed, distorting the original composition the cameraman and director have so painstakingly tried to create. And if you have watched a subtitled print at a film festival or a film society screening, you must have noticed the heads of characters being chopped just to enable you to read the subtitles. Even though the lab's punch marks are there at the reel ends for the changeover cue, projectionists like to put their own scratch marks. And if every projectionist puts his insignia, you can well imagine what happens to the images after multiple screenings. It is a pity that when crores are being spent in the making and showing of films in fabulous cinema halls, we don't pay enough attention to these basic points for ensuring quality projection and safeguarding expensive prints. The operator in the projection room who can make or mar a film during projection is one of the most neglected and poorly paid technicians we have in this so-called industry. Most of them have been trained on the job with no academic background. Theirs is a hazardous job, spending long hours in the heat of the projection cabin, exposing themselves to the fumes emanating from the arc lamp. All those who have anything to do with films should realize the importance of the projectionist and the need to have skilled and properly trained people for the job. I've often wondered why nobody ever thought of recognizing excellence in the field and encouraging new talent by instituting an award for the best projectionist. Just as we recognize the contribution of a cameraman, lab technician, makeup artist, actor, or costume designer. The same argument would hold good for recognizing the contribution of the best-run cinema house in the country or state in terms of projection quality, upkeep, and maintenance of the auditorium, programming, and public service. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Vinod, it's your turn to say a few words.
The reason I had to ask Nasir to speak first because I was dying to hear what he had to say about Mr. Nair, and it was absolutely an amazing experience. Nasir, thank you so much. I just have to mention two things here. One, of course, Mr. Nair. And मिस्टर नायर के लिए हिंदी में कहा गया है कि वो सूरज को दिया दिखाने वाली बात है. उनकी क्या तारीफ़ करें हम. जिस इंसान ने एब्सोल्युटली सेल्फलेसली काम किया, और what Shiva just said, let me tell you exactly what happened. I went to Pune and I saw him and his family was there. And I told Shiva, I said, bring him here, put him in Leelavati, get him the best hospital in the world, and I'll take care. And what he said to Shiva is what Shiva said. Tell him to, preserve movies instead of me. Which man can talk like that but Mr. Nair? So, claps for him, please. He was also, of course, he was preserving movies, as Mr. Benegal said, as Shiva said, but to me also he was creating filmmakers. If I'm here because of P.K. Nair. I think he taught us cinema in his own way. He was always there with his little torch, as Nasir was mentioning, and writing his little notes. And he was a very quiet, serious man. And let's say, if I wanted to study a film, there was a film called Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard I saw when I was very young, and I wanted to see the film again. So I made a request, and he said no. And he walked away, and it was a night screening in main theater, and he just told the projectionist, keep the print here for the night, okay? And he walked away. Dalvi, keep the print, and Kokji, I remember. And after he'd gone, Dalvi walked up to me and said, Nair Sahab said, he can't officially give you the print, but just sneak, take it tonight, study it, and give it back to me in the morning. That's Mr. Nair for you. I mean, to me, absolutely. So, and I still remember, Nasir usme, there's a shot, long shot hai, wo enter karta hai Belmondo, and then you go up in the room. So I wondered, कि यार ये ऐसा क्यों, कैसे shot हो गया? And then I realized that there was actually a slight tilt in the long shot, and there was a cut. Camera was still tilting to the close-up. And if you remember in Khamosh, we tried that. He hated it. He was in the pool, tilting up, and he kept saying his directors dance. But I danced to the tune of Mr. Nair, because he's the one who taught me all those great movies and how to see films. And the second thing I want to talk for long is the condition of archival things in this country. Let me say something that will tell you how terrible the whole situation of archiving is. While Mr. Devanand was alive, I really wanted to have, I had sponsored some books on Guru Dutt, and I wanted to sponsor books on Guide, and and I wanted him to talk and how he made the films. And so he said, पर इसमें पैसे कितने हैं? मैंने कहा, सर कोई आपको नहीं देना है, हम preserve करेंगे और आप ही का copyright. There's nothing. पर विनोद, what are you getting? मैंने कहा, सर मेरे को कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, मैं नाम भी नहीं अपना लगाऊंगा, ये आप ही का है. He was not convinced. So actually, that opportunity that we had of people sitting and talking to him and how he made Guide, was lost because he couldn't believe that I was doing it just because I wanted to preserve whatever he had in his mind when he made those films. And this is my appeal to everybody, and if film industry or anybody is listening, that they should help people like Shiva, because they are selflessly trying to preserve films, which is what Mr. Nair did. So there is nothing in archive. So we should all, Nasir and me made a great film. I talk of my films as great films, but not so great, perhaps. It was a film called Satya Katha, which was my first film with Nasir and Om Puri. And it was a film about Nasir was playing a cop in Bombay. And the film was all about this cop had his duty to, if there's a dead body on the streets, it was his duty to take it to the morgue. But if the body's alive, or if the person is alive, he couldn't do anything. So it was a film about a conflict of a policeman, which he played brilliantly. The film was not that great, but he was great. So he played that role, and he, every time he used to take a little round and come back if the person has died. And it was one of my better films, and it's lost. It's not there. And I tried to look for it almost 10 years back, Mr. Benegal, not now. People went to DD, they couldn't find the negative, and it was shot on reversal 16mm negative. So it's all gone. And Om Puri was brilliant in that. That was also his first film with me. So it's very sad that this happens, and I would only request you, everybody, whoever is listening, to try and help, because this is how the future generations would learn. We learned from Mr. Nair, and it's very sad when I see all the students of cinema in this country only reading about how Martin Scorsese did that. Of course, I greatly respect him, how this director shot, how Francis Coppola shot, how this guy shot, how Roberto, but do they know how Guru Dutt made films? Do they know how Mehboob Khan made films? Do they know how K. Asif made films? And Bimal Roy made films? And Raj Kapoor made films? Not really. And it's very, very sad that our students are learning cinema, which is not really coming from our roots. They're listening to, all Western books on script writing, they're talking about third act. I see these young writers working with, oh, so what is there in third act? I said, in Hindi cinema, there is no third act. There's music, but they don't know, and it's very sad. I think I want to end, I talk too much, that archival things, everybody should please help. And if the government is listening, we can honor Mr. Nair as much as we can, but I think the government of India needs to wake up and give Mr. Nair some Padma Bhushan, Vibhushan, because he was the only one in this country who gave his life for cinema and taught all of us to be here. Thank you very much.
Can I now request Nair Sahab, Bina and Nair Sahab's daughter and son to be here for the book release, and Rajesh Devraj, our editor of the book. Can he come up on stage? Rajesh, are you...
फाउंडेशन के मौके पर हम सभी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट हैं। हमने देखा कि बुक लॉन्च भी की गई, आप भी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट। आप बताइए आपके क्या थॉट है, आपके क्या टेक है?
फिल्म हमेशा से कल्चर का बहुत बड़ा शीशा आईना रही है, और अगर फिल्म की आर्काइविंग ठीक से नहीं होगी तो जो हमसे आगे सदियां आएंगी उनको पता नहीं चलेगा कि किस तरह का लोग एक्चुअली जीते कैसे थे। तो बहुत ज़रूरी है, और ये नायर साहब की किताब आई होप इनकरेज करेगी गवर्नमेंट को और बाकी के फिल्म इंस्टीट्यूशंस को टू प्रोसेस एंड कीप फिल्म सिक्योर। बहुत ज़रूरी है।
जी मैम, आपसे जानना चाहेंगे विनोद खन्ना जी की तबीयत बहुत खराब है, उनके फोटो भी आई है, क्या कहना है, कोई विशेष वगैरह क्या?
नॉट रेलेवेंट राइट नाउ।
थैंक यू। कुछ बोल
मैं दूसरे पीछे से नहीं बोल सकता था क्या फिर?
पीछे आना यार बाबा।
क्या रोल है इस पिक्चर में? मेरा क्या रोल है?
सर फिल्म हेरिटेज फाउंडेशन के मौके पर हम सभी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट हैं।
जी हाँ।
पीके जी की देखा हमें बुक लॉन्च भी किया गया। आप बताइए आपके क्या थॉट है, आपके क्या कहते हैं?
मेरे क्या थॉट हैं? नहीं, मेरे यही जो पीके नायर साहब का जो काम है इज़ ऑफ कोर्स हर कोई जानता है, इनवैल्यूएबल है। उन्होंने जो फिल्म हिस्ट्री की क्या प्रेजर्वेशन में जो काम किया है अनप्रेसिडेंटेड है। और जैसा नसीर साहब ने भी आज स्टेज पे कहा दैट इट विल बी नाइस अगर सरकार उनको किसी पद्म विभूषण से या पद्म भूषण से रिकग्नाइज करे, बिकॉज उनका जो योगदान है फिल्म हमारी एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ हमारी सिनेमैटिक हिस्ट्री में उनकी जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है उसको प्रिजर्व करने में वो उसकी तुलना नहीं हो सकती।
अच्छा, आपके गेटअप के बारे में जानना चाहेंगे। बहुत ही
आ गए ना, देखा सीधा। आप इस फिल्म में आपका क्या रोल है?
नहीं मतलब बहुत ही ज़्यादा हमें दिख रहा है तो कोई
ये एक्चुअली मैंने नाटक के लिए रखी हुई है, एक जो मकबैथ पे कर रहे हैं। बट ऑल्सो अब नील माधव पांडा जी की एक पिक्चर स्टार्ट होने वाली है जिसमें यूज़ होगी दाढ़ी। मतलब इतनी जंगली नहीं, बट घर की खेती है, ये मुझे बढ़ानी पड़ती है अक्सर।
एक और सवाल, की तबीयत नहीं सही है, क्या उनके बारे में कहेंगे? क्या
नहीं, मुझे आई डिडंट नो रियली। नहीं,
इमेज वायरल हो रही है जिसमें वो बहुत ही ट्रेन हो गए हैं, बहुत ही बीमार लग रहे हैं।
वेल, मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि ही इज़ अ टफ गाय एंड आई एम श्योर ही विल बाउंस बैक। आई प्रे फॉर हिज स्पीडी रिकवरी।